Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you're new here, I'm Kelly, and welcome to my second Flashback Friday of January. I am doing a whole month of nothing new in January, where we are not talking about new makeup, we're not reviewing new makeup, we're not thinking about new makeup releases. We are loving on the makeup that is already in our collection. I did get this idea from Mandy Leah, so for the month of January, I'm going to have her channel listed in the description box of all of my videos, but I'm also doing a Flashback Friday series, and we are taking a look at my best of beauty from years past. Last Friday we talked about the best of beauty 2015. Today we are talking about the best of beauty for 2016. I am going to have my original video listed down below. I'll throw it up in the cards for you as well, but why don't we go ahead and jump into it. Now, in creating my best of beauty lists and in looking at 2015 and 2016, there were some repeat products. So if you did not catch my first best of beauty, this one should be a little bit shorter. I'm going to list that one up in the cards. Go ahead and watch that one because I'm not going to touch on any of the repeats. The repeats were Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Products, the Urban Decay Naked Basics palette, my Makeup Geek single eyeshadows, the Milk Chocolate Soleil Bronzer, the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner, the Rimmel Nude Liner, Purity by Philosophy, my Caudalie Toner, the Dermadoctor Wrinkle Revenge Eye Balm, my Clinique Moisturizer, the Origins Nitamins Moisturizer, and the Glam Glow Thirsty Mud Milk Mask. Those were all repeats. I talked about them in my 2015 video, but I don't want to talk about them again here. I would just be saying the same things. So there were two more skincare items that I mentioned in 2016 that I did not talk about in 2015. One was the Fresh Sea Berry Oil. Now, I did mention another oil in last week's video. I guess the Fresh Sea Berry Oil was a new oil to me. I do think that I got that one initially in a Play by Sephora box. I used to have one of the Play by Sephora subscriptions. I did get my hands on the Fresh Sea Berry Oil, and I actually remember really enjoying adding that oil to my foundations. I do believe I may even have gone on to purchase that oil, the full size of it, and I went through that as well. I really like the Fresh line. I did really enjoy that oil. It was very hydrating, but in my last video, if you caught that, I do use the Josie Maran Argan Oil now. That is my go-to oil, but I do remember really enjoying the Fresh one. I also mentioned the Sephora brand sheet masks, and I remember specifically I really liked the pink one. I can't remember the name of it. I will include pictures of the products that I'm talking about, but I do really remember enjoying those sheet masks. I did mention in my last video I have not done a ton of masking lately, like since getting pregnant and having a baby and all of that. I do want to get into masking again. I have dry skin, so I think if I could get some hydrating masks, that might really help. And I would be interested in trying out those sheet masks again. I feel like they were around $5 or $6, so they were a little bit more affordable. I also liked the Too Cool for School masks. I didn't mention that in my Best of Beauty 2016, but I do remember liking that and the Sephora brand. So I'll have to get those again and try them out and see if I like them still. Those were the only new skincare products that I mentioned in 2016. So now let's visit the makeup items. I had the NYX Eyebrow Shaper Wax. I vaguely remember that product. I don't think a product like that is something that I necessarily need in my collection anymore. An eyebrow shaper wax. I think the purpose of it was probably to put my eyebrows like in position and to hold them there. I have very thin eyebrows, they're very sparse, and I basically have to draw them in every single day. I just don't think that an eyebrow shaper wax is something that I need. I do still go in with my ABH products. I feel like my Anastasia Beverly Hills gel kind of does what an eyebrow wax would and holds everything in place. I also mentioned the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in Eden. I did repurchase that multiple times. That in comparison to the one that I mentioned in 2015, the MAC Paint Pots, the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in Eden does give you a tint. I think it has more of a yellow tint. So it does cancel out any redness. It does help to make your eyeshadow colors pop a little bit more, but that is a more thin consistency when you're comparing to the MAC Paint Pots. And like I said, I have gone through a few of Eden. I actually have the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in original right now, and I am trying to use this one up. I like the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potions. I do suffer with eczema on my eyelids, and I feel like this is a little bit of a lighter formula, so it doesn't irritate that. If I could choose original or Eden, I think I would go for Eden just because it has more of a tint, but the original, I think I got it on sale, and that's why I purchased original over Eden, but I do like the tinted one better, Eden better. I also mentioned my IT Cosmetics CC Plus cream. I was in the shade Light. I think I went through 2 of those, and I really liked the IT Cosmetics CC Plus cream. It gives you more of a medium to buildable coverage, and it also has an SPF of 50, and for someone like me who lives in Texas who has fair skin, SPF is really important to be putting on your skin, and I don't really have an SPF in my skincare routine. That's something that I want to change, but that's part of why I really liked the IT Cosmetics CC Plus cream. I think you could consider that a foundation. It is a little bit thicker. It gives you more of a medium coverage. You can build it up, but I loved to take that traveling. I took it to Italy with me a few times. I used it up completely once, went and repurchased it. I do feel like the second time around, it started oxidizing on me. So I don't know if it was a different formula. I don't know if it went bad and I was trying to use it. That is one that I do want to add to my collection again because I do still like it, but just the second time around when I repurchased it, I did notice a little bit of oxidation after having it for a while. I also mentioned the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This is a concealer that I wish I could purchase again, but Urban Decay is like getting rid of their Naked Skin line. And now they have the Stay Naked line. I tried the Stay Naked concealer and I was not a huge fan of it. I liked the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer because it was more of a lighter formula. It wasn't very heavy on the under eyes, but it still gave me great coverage. So that is one, I wish I could repurchase it, but I can't because Urban Decay got rid of them. I also moved on to my Laura Mercier translucent powder. I've talked about this powder time and time again. This is currently in my project pan for 2020 because I think this is like my 3rd full size, and I also bought 2 smaller sizes. If you caught my project pan, I talked about another powder that I like a little bit more than this one, but I still think the Laura Mercier translucent powder is a great option. I mentioned one of Benefit's boxed blushes in Rakuten. I loved the Rakuten blush. I did declutter it at the same time that I decluttered Benefit's Dallas because they were the older blushes in my collection. I felt like they weren't picking up anymore. Rakuten had a little bit of hard pan. That's actually a blush that I would like to repurchase. I thought I heard someone say that Rakuten was no longer around. Let me actually just check because I have no clue. So I'm gonna jump on Ulta's website and see if it's still around. Okay, so I do see it on the Ulta website. It says that it is the Rakuten Rose Gold Blush Mini, and it says that it's $30, but I think their full sizes are $30, and I'm seeing other minis that are $17. So I'm not sure about that because then the Benefit Dallas Blush Mini is $17. Either way, I would like to repurchase both of those blushes. If I did, I would be interested in getting them in the minis. I really liked the Benefit Rakuten because it had a little bit of a glowy effect to the cheeks. It was more of a rose gold shade. It didn't have any chunky specks of glitter, but it did give me a nice healthy glow, and that was a go-to blush for me. So I would definitely be interested in adding that to my collection again. Back in 2016, an OG YouTube highlighter was the Laura Geller Gilded Honey Highlighter. Raise your hand if you owned that highlighter. That was a favorite of many, many YouTubers, so I went and picked it up, and I do remember thinking that I really liked it, but I think part of why I really liked it was just because of all of the hype that was built up. It was one of their baked highlighters. It created a little bit of hard pan for me. It was sometimes hard to get onto my brush, and it was a little bit deeper of a highlighter than I prefer for my skin tone. So it is one that I decluttered. I no longer have it in my collection, but I definitely think that back in 2016, I got caught up with the hype of that highlighter. I also talked about Coco Lashes in Goddess. I have mentioned this before. I've never been a huge false eyelash wearer, but when I was first starting out on YouTube, all of the YouTubers wore false eyelashes. It was very rare to see someone without falsies. So I thought that I had to wear false eyelashes. And I remember hearing about Coco Lashes from several YouTubers. I purchased I purchased the style Goddess. I went on to purchase Queen Bee. I do like both of those eyelash, not formulas, what are they? I like those eyelash styles. I'm just not a huge eyelash wearer. So I still, if I have to wear false eyelashes, or, I mean, you never really have to, but if I'm going to wear false eyelashes, I would still reach into my Coco Lashes or my Demi Wispies from Ardell, so I still have a few lying around. But I prefer my natural eyelashes at this stage in my life. I also had Kylie's lipstick in Candy K. And when I was watching this video, I remember saying that I wanted to wear Candy K for the rest of my life. And I don't feel like Candy K is my favorite anymore. I love the Kylie Cosmetics liquid lipstick formula. I feel like they dry down to a nice matte, but they're not drying. They're very long lasting. They last through eating and drinking. But if I had to pick a favorite shade, I like the shade Bear, which comes in their Velvet formula, and I like the shade Malibu, which comes in their liquid lipstick formula. Those would be my two favorite shades, but I do agree with Kylie Cosmetics being a favorite. I also mentioned my Dose of Colors Stone liquid lipstick. This is the third, I think. I had a full size of Stone in their old packaging. I also had Stone in a mini, and now I have repurchased it again. I also want to repurchase their shade Truffle. I really like the Dose of Colors formula. Stone is like a typical Kelly mauve shade, so I'm glad to have that in my collection. I also mentioned my two Tom Ford lipsticks in Pussycat and Indian Rose. Pussycat is a matte formula, so it gives you more of a matte finish. It's just a deeper mauve shade. These are my originals, so I'm sure they've gone bad, but because of their price tag and the fact that they were both gifts, I will be holding on to them. This is Indian Rose. It has more of a sheen to it. It's not glossy. It's just called their lip color, but it does leave you with more of a sheen. So I still love these. I love these shades. I think they're beautiful. I do, disclaimer, I do wear them every now and then on a special occasion, but I do think the formula has probably gone bad, but I will never declutter these. I will keep them in my collection. And that's it. Those are all of the products that I mentioned in my Best of Beauty for 2016 that I didn't mention in 2015. So if you're enjoying this little Flashback Friday series, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed before you go. That way you can stick with all of my Best of Beauty Flashback Fridays, and you can check out my whole month of nothing new. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.